All right. Hello, hello. It's going to take time for people to come or see that I'm live or even care if I'm live. I don't care. Um, Carla, I might be sleeping in a little bit. So if Carla's sleeping in a little bit, I'm going to do a little live myself. Um, I know I'm trying to get back into the swing of doing this. It's become crazy, annoying because just going through a lot medically, uh, and it's not seeming to let up. So Wednesday, and I cannot wait to get to Alec Baldwin and Jussie Smollett. So we're going to get there. Except I'm dealing with a huge issue of my own, where I am waiting for my doctor to call me. Um, I have a cup of coffee here, food, and I can't eat much. I think most of you who watch me already know that I can't eat much. Um, I called my doctor. I called my doctor last Friday. They had off for Black Friday. Oh, I didn't realize this big digestive disease center has off on Black Friday. Okay. Um, so whatever. I've been dealing with this pain for a couple, about, I would say, over a week since Thanksgiving. Called my doctor Wednesday. Wednesday I called. Um, Left a message. Spoke to his secretary. No phone call. Called yesterday a few times. They said, "Hey, we're going to put your we're going to basically write this down and hand this to his secretary rather than just you leaving a message so they can get to you faster." Okay, great. Once again, yesterday comes and goes, comes and goes. Then today I finally called, and now I'm angry, like angry. But I had to talk myself down because I'm not mad at the people who work there. Well, there's certain people I'm mad at, but I cannot take it out on the person who answers the phone. Can't. She's got nothing to do with that. I have to I'm like someone who has to constantly keep that going in my head and be like, okay, I'm whatever. I'm going to be nice, and I'm sitting here. I'm like, I'm not mad at you. I'm angry, but there is no reason for me to take this out on you. Agreed. She agreed. I agreed. Um, but thankfully, I mean, if you're nice and you're kind to everyone, and I said to her, this isn't your fault. This isn't, I just want to talk to the doctor. And now this is day 3. I'm waiting for the doctor. Every time I eat, every time, even I drink, like 20 to 30 minutes in, I get stabbing pain in my stomach. I mean, it's very clear it's my stomach that hurts, not like the stomach area. It's legitimately my stomach. Hi, Red Rum. Thanks for listening. I was just so pissed about this whole shit with my doctor right now. And I called them, and they were like, "This is uncalled for." Oh, okay, we'll have you call you today. Don't you think they'd be like, "Oh, your patient is having some problems. We should probably call her ASAP." No, not what happened. So that's me and my bullshit that's going on with my life right now. I'm waiting for my doctor to call. They're like, "Oh, you had an appointment today." And I'm like, "Yeah, but unfortunately, with this pain, I cannot make it all the way down there and all the way back in pain like this." Okay, we understand. Okay, I'm supposed to have surgery December the 21st. I've been saying the 22nd. I've been wrong. 21st. Um, So I'm waiting on that. And I don't know if he's just like, there's nothing I can do, so we have to wait for the surgery. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know. So, with that being said, that's my own issues and problems. I am so ready to talk about this whole Alec Baldwin, and I totally want to talk about Jussie Smollett. Oh my, no, you know what? Let's talk about Jussie first. We'll get this out of the way. Let's talk about Juicy. Juicy, 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 juicy. I don't know if anybody has been listening. No, there is no cameras allowed in this. Go figure. Um, and now Jussie Smollett, oh my God, his defense team or his team is trying to ask for a mistrial for two. One of the lawyers said he lynched at her. The judge lynched at a lawyer, and then basically while somebody was up in while they were questioning, they were saying that the judge was making like snarly looking faces during the trial. So they want to call for a mistrial because of those two things. The judge is like, this is utterly ridiculous. Absolutely 1000% ridiculous. None of this happened. This will not be a mistrial. Okay. Not only that, he wound up giving the jury off today. So there's nothing that's happening in the Jussie Smollett trial today. But guys, oh my God. If you haven't listened to any of the stuff that's going on with Jussie Smollett, the other day there was a video that they released in the courtroom, which everybody watched, where it was Jussie and the Osundayo brothers. I think that's how you say their last name, Osundayo. They went to the place to do a dry run. It's on video. And yet, this lying sack of crap, who has been lying since day one, we all know that, okay? There was no jumping. And let's be honest, I forget the name, Kim something, who was the Cook County coroner of Chicago. What the fuck? She was going to let him go. Just, nope, he did nothing. Now, mind you, if he comes back guilty, he'll have a felony on his record. But nothing is going to happen. He's never done anything. He doesn't have any records. He's going through this, but I do not believe this boy is going to see any boy, man. He's a man. I should not say boy. He just seems younger to me. I do not see him serving time. He's probably going to get some kind of probation and maybe have to do some community service. And I don't see much else happening for him. But yet this trial is just stupid. It's stupid. And that's the only best word I can call it, is stupid. Because we've all seen what did the Osundayo brothers have to say? They got nothing to lose or gain in basically stating that this guy helped them out, got them these places on Empire, which was the show. And he was the one who said, I want you to say this, I want you to say this, I want you to say this, where he basically stated he wanted to be people who had MAGA hats on. He wanted to blame this on Trump supporters. This is where I get pissed off, because now you're saying, is you're trying to group this in, that so many people in Chicago, okay, not many people in Chicago, I'm going to say, are Trump supporters. Just saying. Good morning, White Lotus. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, no, there's no doubt. And I don't think there's no doubt in anybody's mind that he's guilty. And that is why his team is trying to get a mistrial over things that didn't happen in the courtroom. And see, there are no cameras allowed in the courtroom either. So you only have pictures that are drawn and stuff like that. But yeah, there was a video of them doing a dry run, and there's video of Jussie of like 4 days before everything, that he was circling the whole area, and they have it on video. I saw there was one video, I think the New York Times might have put it out. There was one video Good morning, Little E Studios. Good to see you. The Baldwin thing is crazy. Oh, that's next. That's next because I really want to talk about that because have been unbelievably keeping an open mind with this, with that. But yes, let me just finish with this whole Jussie thing. I don't think he's going to get off. I don't. I really do believe that they'll probably charge him. There will not be a mistrial. If there is, that'll be the most ridiculous mistrial in the world. Fact of the matter is, he's caught. He's caught. He's caught. And yet, he's still using his acting skills to make it seem like I'm not lying. I am the victim. Why do so many people want to be a victim these days? Oh my God. That's the most annoying thing in the world. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. I'm so sick of people wanting to be a victim. Because back when I was older, you did not want to be a victim, even if you were a victim. Like, that's how it was when I grew up. And I still don't want to be anybody's victim. I just don't understand that. So, moving along, like I said, we're not going to hear anything about the Jussie Smollett till next week. We are not going to hear about Jussie at all till next week. So, the Osendire brothers, the prosecution has rested on them. I'm sure they are going to be, I don't know if they have been cross-examined. Don't know that yet. But, I mean, these guys have got nothing to gain or lose, really, by stating that they didn't do this. The fact of the matter is, Jussie did write a letter, and it was a threatening letter to his Empire Studios and made it look like, someone pasted together these crazy letters and stuff together, just like you would see in the movies. Okay. And nobody took it seriously. So he was pissed that nobody took it seriously. This man wanted to be a victim completely. Right? Everybody wants to be a victim because they feel like if you are a victim, somehow or another, someone's going to pay you something. That's how I say it. Good morning, True Helper. Oh, hold on. Hello? How can... I don't see you. It's Carla. Oh my God. I don't even... I have not seen anybody. I've only seen like 3 people. That's why I'm not even saying anything. I haven't seen it. How can you be blocked with a wrench? What the hell? Oh my God. Hold on. You've always had a wrench. I didn't. I never took anybody's wrench. No, 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 no. I would want you. I want you to tell me this stuff. I don't know. All right. White Lotus just says I don't see Carla either. Um, that's bizarre. Okay. Because I have, as far as I know, nobody has been blocked. So somebody did something. She's just telling me now. Yeah, yeah. And she said that she doesn't see you either. So, how do I go in and unblock? I am on my computer. Sorry, everybody. Settings. Okay. You mean settings in YouTube or setting with just my settings on my channel? I can hear myself through your computer. No, no, I didn't know. How I didn't know? All right, let me see. Sync on manage your Google account. No. Oh, into my community? All right, hold on. I'm looking. I'm looking here. That's crazy. No, manage and then add another account, sign out, manage. No. All right, do I have to go in through the how you manage your account? I forget what the name of it is. Not Google, but is it in here? What I'm not trying to do it from my phone. What I'm trying to do is open up my phone. Ooh, hold on 1 second. Hold on. Hello? Yes. Yes, you know what? I'm glad you called. I have to cancel for tomorrow. Right now, it's not. I don't know when because of my surgery and everything else. So yeah, I'm gonna have to. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye, Carla. 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 There you are. All right. So, do I have to go into the? You know how the Creator Studio is that? Do I have to go in there? Okay. Go onto my channel. Thank you, because I'm not very good at this. I'll be. Yeah, I'm still here. I'm listening. I'm looking. I'm just looking. Dashboard. All right. So I'm in my channel. I go to my channel. I have YouTube Studio, purchases, memberships, settings. Here it is, settings. Settings. I'm sorry, y'all. Don't mind me. We will get. Well, no, because if you're blocked and other people are blocked, then weirdo. Weird. I wouldn't. I don't know. I can't. I don't imagine. I can't even imagine who it could have possibly have been because I don't really have that type of people. We're just trying to figure this out, everybody. Hold on, please. All right, so I'm in settings. I'm in settings, right? It says account notifications, playback performance, privacy, connection apps, purchases, memberships, billing, advanced settings. No, I do not see that yet. All right, hold on. Advanced settings. All right. I am on my computer. Okay. YouTube Studio. Let me. I probably need to go to the YouTube Studio and go to settings there, right? Oh, YouTube Studio, dashboard, content, playlist, analytics, comments. Yes. Settings all the way down. Okay. Uh huh. Uh huh. Got it. Thank you. Okay. Hidden. Holy shit. All right, hold on. Let me see. All right. Yes, you are. Boom. Wow. There's actually quite a few people in here that I never blocked. And I don't I'm checking right now. I unblocked you. Oh, I don't know how that happened because I'm looking around and you are the only one that's in there, so I don't understand. That's bizarre. Saved. It's saved. Okay. Sorry. I didn't know. How the fuck it happened? All right. I don't block anybody. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, sorry, everybody. We just fixed Carla. Bye. Oh, see, you're already talking about it already. Woo! Now we fixed Carla. Carla should be in here any second. Yay! Oh my God, how crazy is that? I didn't even know. Didn't even know. I don't even know how to fix it. Carla, let me know you're here and you're safe. So, yeah, now we're done with Jussie. Let's get done and screw with Jussie Smollett because guess what? The man is guilty. That is the truth. Now, Alec Baldwin. His people. I can see you, Carla. Do you have a wrench? Let me see. I got to look from my phone because if nobody has a wrench, I don't know how people are getting blocked. Number one, I don't, unless YouTube took my wrenches away. That could be the only thing I could think of. Hold on. Ready? All right. I do. Okay. Carla. All right. There you go. Unbelievable. I have no idea how that happened. That's so bizarre to me. That's so bizarre. Now no one can do it. Ta-da! All right. So the whole Alec Baldwin thing, I want to start from like the beginning. I'm not going to go directly into the interview last night because my husband was like, "Why do you want to watch that?" I'm like, "I want to watch it because I want to see what he says. I want to see if it was self-serving. You didn't, Carla. You're my friend. I love you, and I would hope that you would call me and be like, "What the hell? Exactly what you did. Perfect. No problem. No problem at all, Carla. Thank you." So, yeah, the whole Alec Baldwin thing. So, when everything happened, we all heard the story of what happened on the set of, I think it's Rust. Yes. And and I thought to myself back then, like, oh my God, it's horrible. I don't really care for Alec Baldwin very much, but that doesn't mean that I think that he intentionally killed somebody. Do not believe that at all. Do not believe that this was intentional. By no means do I believe that Alec Baldwin did this on purpose. Okay, with that being said, he still should be guilty of manslaughter. Just saying. That's the truth. He unintentionally killed somebody. When that happens, it is considered manslaughter. Now, with everything that has come out, like they told him to keep his mouth shut until the investigation is over. Alec Baldwin cannot keep his mouth shut. When he went up to Vermont, like literally the weekend of the whole incident, when his wife, Hilaria, no, she's not, her name is Hillary and she's from Boston. when Hillary was out there, he treated her, and that's what everyone didn't even realize that was her. They're like, who's that chick? Like, that's his wife. And he was treating her like crap, completely like crap. And because he wanted to tell his side of the story. Because, and see, this is where I caught him in something last night. And he goes, she was my friend. She was my friend. Okay, so this guy accidentally shot his friend. But as I'm watching this interview last night, one of the things that he had said, he had never met her before the day of the shooting. So they went out to dinner. That was the first time he met her. I'm sorry, if I met you once, that doesn't make you my friend. And that's what he said last night about her. And I swear to you, because I went, that doesn't seem right. I went back and rewound that part because as he just, she was my friend. He knew her for a day. A day. I don't think he realized that. I don't think he realized that he did that to himself because of what he said previously. And now what he said in the interview. She was not his friend. He was her coworker. He hired her, and they met once and had dinner the night before the incident happened. That is what happened completely out of his mouth. Different occasions. But I have to say, I do believe George Stephanopoulos, which I didn't think he was going to be very fair. I thought it was just going to be, how Oprah handled Meghan and Harry. But no, he actually asked some good questions, and I was impressed with the way he handled it and all the questions that he did ask, where it wasn't just like a one-sided kind of deal. But I wanted to see how Alec went about it. And as I went and I watched, and even my husband came in, I'm like, you didn't want to watch this. You didn't want to watch this. And I said, I'm trying to keep an open mind here. And when he said he didn't pull the trigger, and he had a hold of what they called the hammer of the gun. Can that happen? I don't know. I've never shot a gun before. My husband says no. I don't know. I mean, I've looked it up. I don't know. I've never, I don't know much about guns. And I'm okay with that. I don't want to shoot a gun, ever. But according, and if you talk to a lot of these Hollywood people, which I don't have a lot of faith in these Hollywood people. Excuse me. I'm trying to put my ringer on so when my doctor calls, I can hear it because I heard the beeping that, okay, I think I turned it on now. Sorry. Sometimes I get sidetracked when I'm doing stuff. So, yeah, no, there was a lot I thought last night. I found it was self-serving for him. I think he actually cares. I really don't believe he intentionally killed her, right? That I totally agree upon. You had what they call the armor girl, and you had the prop person. George Clooney even said, Will Smith, Angelina Jolie, all people who have constantly handled guns on set, come out and say they would never point it without looking inside the gun. You would never point it at somebody unless you have the proper training. Alec did not have the proper training at all. Apparently, he's used guns and he's never done it before. When you've got people like Will Smith, Angelina Jolie, and George Clooney coming forward saying you should always check the gun. Regardless, you should never point it at anyone if the gun is loaded. You have to check all that stuff. But I honestly think if he checked it, he wouldn't have known. I don't think Alec knows the difference if he would see it. I wouldn't. But that's, once again, he didn't have the proper training. And this was his movie. This wasn't somebody else's movie that he was just acting in. He's a producer of this movie. So, yeah, I mean, he really pushed it that this was not my fault. I'm getting sick and tired of these fucking celebrities not taking responsibility for the shit that they do, regardless if it was an accident. You have the woman who called 911, okay? Now she's being represented by Gloria Allred, okay? And she said, you were playing Russian roulette with the gun. Why would she say that? What does she have to gain by saying that he did that? I would think she'd have more to gain by not saying it, in my opinion. I don't think he intentionally did it. I don't either. Absolutely. Hold on, True Helper. I don't think, you know what? If anybody else wants to come up and talk about this, please do so. I feel like I'm talking about it to myself, but you guys got some really, and I don't, as long as I know you, you guys can come up. If I don't know you, I'm afraid to be important. I don't need that first thing in the morning, please. Thank you. So, but I'm grabbing my earbuds because if someone comes up, I got to put these bad boys in. I do not believe he intentionally, but I will say he didn't have the proper training. But what I'm saying is these celebrities who do things and they don't want to take responsibility. Look at Astroworld. Where's Travis Scott? Why haven't Travis Scott at least gone, yeah, maybe I went too hard. Maybe I should have stopped the show. Maybe I should have done whatever. No, instead of that, it's not my fault. He wanted to handle an Astroworld. Travis Scott wanted to handle. Hold on, Carly. Put my earbuds in first, or you're going to be echoing out the wazoo. There we go. Hold on.
Hey.
I'm again.
Oh, no. Forget it. I'm glad. I didn't think you would block me, but it was frustrating for me because I was in your chat from the beginning.
I see.
And I kept saying hello.
I only saw Red Rum, and Red Rum was like the only one.
And then when Lotus came in, I said, "Can you tell Ginger I'm blocked?" And she didn't see me, so that's when I figured. I put 2 and 2 together and said, "I'm blocked."
That bitch.
Nobody's seeing.
That bitch blocked me.
No, because it happened the last time too. So I've been blocked for a while on your chat.
That's bizarre, and I don't go live often. So
yeah, but
crazy.
Well, it's over.
So, did you see any of the interview? I know that you were at Bombshells.
I did not. I was helping Bombshell with her fundraiser last night, so I missed it.
I did pop in for a little bit.
Yeah, I was one of the moderators that was dropping links, so
okay.
I had to
look at you with the moderating. Woohoo!
But I had to be there because I was dropping the links for her.
Right.
So, she wanted them dropped every so often. So yeah, nice. So that's about all I did last night.
How did it go? I don't even know.
I'm not sure how much she made because after I told her I was going to bed because it was like 5 hours, and I was like, I'm exhausted, so I went to bed. But as far as I don't know what went on in the interview, but I'm not a fan of Alec Baldwin. So
I think you and I have talked about this before. Like,
yeah, I find he's arrogant.
He's a pompous asshole.
I hope that here's the thing with me. I hope that he takes responsibility and because I've watched several other celebrities say that you.
Good morning, girl with the diamond ring. Are you still in the hospital? I hope you're not.
Hi, girl with the diamond ring.
Yeah, the other day she was here and she was in the hospital. She's like, "How do you stay so positive?" I'm like, I don't, not all the time. Like, with her being here, I completely broke down crying. completely.
Aw.
And you and I spoke about it, and you were like, don't take it down. Don't take it down. And I
No,
didn't.
because people need to see that people go through these things.
I mean, I have videos, you know, that I
And I
had.
actually went back and watched it. I don't know why I missed it. Maybe I slept in or something. Because...
No, you didn't know I was live. You went live right after, and I didn't know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
It happens.
totally
It's
screwed
fine.
up your life.
No, you
Yeah,
didn't.
well, at least this time I checked the notifications and I saw you were live, but I was so disappointed. I'm the first one in there. No, you can't see me.
I'm sorry.
But anyways, I watched an interview with John Schneider from the Dukes of Hazzard. And he said there was never any reason to be pointing a gun at anybody. There's never, he said, never.
According to him last night, according to Alec, she wanted a picture of him holding the gun. And he said, this is what he said. I'm only just telling you what he said, not what I actually believe, but he was holding the gun. And when he was taking the picture, he took his hand off what he called the hammer, and it automatically went off. And he said for 45 minutes to an hour, he didn't know that they were shot. He thought she fainted.
Possible?
He thought she fainted. Because why would he ever think that there was a bullet in there? Because that is not a place for a bullet.
Well, I do believe that he's you know, I do believe
it was unintentional.
I believe it was an accident.
Absolutely. So do I.
Was he negligent? I think he was. And was he criminally negligent? In my opinion, yes, he was.
Of manslaughter. Because
he should have known better. Like they train these actors, I supposedly, according to what John Schneider said, they're trained that they're not supposed to point guns at anybody. And he was showing with his hand, like he made his hand like a gun, and he was showing like how you can even like just with your hand, it can make it can. They have the special effects that can make it look like it's a gunshot.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't even have to use the prop of a gun. The gun just makes it more real.
Well, so, from what was being told about what was going on that set, even before Alec got there, they were shooting cans for target practice on the set.
Oh boy.
Okay, so right there, no, Alec is not responsible for that. But once again, you are the producer of this show or this movie. You right there, right then and there, you have a certain level of responsibility.
Exactly. You make sure that gun is
one like, and like I said with Travis Scott. Travis Scott said that he didn't know that he wasn't responsible. This was your show.
Mm-hmm.
This was your show. Your name was on this show. You created this show. You knew what you wanted. You gave the imagery and everything that you wanted to the people who needed to do their stuff. And unfortunately, nobody didn't really look at the safety precautions of the one side that people just shoved in, and that's where everybody died, was one area. Because what happened was there was a bunch of different stages in that area, and then they all wound up when Travis Scott came in running into the one side of the area, which then made it so unbearable for people of that area to even breathe. And that's why they got trampled and died. 10 people that died from that. You're responsible. You kept going. You saw the red and white flashing. You said, oh, ambulance. He saw it. He saw it. He said it. And he said, if you are feeling well, put your finger in the air. Like this. And then people were coming out, I think, to tell him, like, things are really bad. You see it in the timeline when you look at the Astroworld stuff. You see it in the timeline where there are two guys that came up to him and they were about to say something to him. And he went, no. Why? He did not want to hear about it. He didn't want to hear about it. He didn't want to hear
Because
that.
that's what brings those young people, kids to his concerts, is the pandemonium.
The raging.
Yeah, exactly. That's his bread and butter.
And that's what I'm saying.
Not like he's got a lot of talent.
None. He's got no talent.
I don't think he has any talent.
I could go out and play auto tune anything and I could sound really good. Anybody can do that.
Yeah.
And guess what? His manager even came out. He's like, he's not as popular. I mean, yeah, obviously, look, he is popular now, but they fudged his numbers to make him look even more popular in the beginning than he actually was. And see, this is how I feel a lot about these rap stars that are being like pushed upon these kids. I don't like them. I don't like Cardi B. I think she's scumbag. That bitch sat on her channel and talked about how she drugged people and stole from them. And that's okay. Nobody said anything. Nobody said anything. I'm sorry. Celebrities today are horrible. Horrible.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I mean, this world that we're living in now, honest to God, I feel really bad for my children. I do. And if I realized that this was the world that we were going to be in, I may have thought twice. But I would never give back I love my children.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I'm thinking what I said, would I want to put people through this? You know what I mean?
No.
That's what it was. But who could ever predict what has happened in 2020 from here on out? Nobody could have predicted what happened. Nobody.
No.
Maybe somebody.
And
maybe there is somebody.
And we're hearing more and more about it because we have instant news. Like we have it in our homes, and the instant anything happens, we have it. We can watch it. Everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody's got, And
I'm really not being biased here, but I'm basically stating something where you have now CNN, okay? Mm-hmm. Chris Cuomo is basically fired. He said he's suspended indefinitely. He's fired. They're just not telling you that. And then you had that Sanjay Gupta guy, who is a doctor from CNN, who went on the Joe Rogan, right? Mm-hmm. And Joe Rogan was like, he said this. He's like, they told me I was taking horse pills. That's not you're a doctor. That's not horse pills. And he's like, and finally, you know what the doctor said about Don Lemon? He shouldn't have said that. He shouldn't have said that. Huh. So when this guy goes back to CNN and Don Lemon's all butthurt because Sanjay Gupta was pretty much cornered by him and said, well, yep, it was wrong. Did he backpedal? Yeah, he backpedaled. But that's the truth. This is the truth of what exactly happened. Like, that's the truth. This is where I am concerned about what I'm saying is the news media. And when I watched the interview last night, the way, and they tried to make him, I feel, look as innocent as possible, whether or not what was coming out of his mouth, because the lighting, all I got to say is the lighting. Just check out the lighting. And when he cries, it's much, much darker. And when he's talking about something very, very serious, the lights go much, much darker. When he starts talking about, going out to eat and doing this stuff and things like that, the light gets brighter. So they're doing that to you. Like people don't even understand that right there is trying to send some kind of message to you, because you want him to feel bad. That's what the whole darkness and the light, and that's all that kind of crap, man. And the thing is, I took it for what it was worth. I knew, I'm like, it's network news. Don't believe half the shit you hear. So I didn't believe a lot of it, but there was a lot that I did believe as well.
Right.
Like I said, I do not believe he did this intentionally. I don't believe that he's ever had training, which he said he's never had. He's like, when someone tells you it's a cold prop, that's all I need to know. should be that person who said it wasn't a cold prop. Well, yeah, you're right. That guy should be responsible as well as the chick who brought it on. All three of you are responsible. Absolutely. All three of them. And if I was involved in this, those three would be the people who would be sued, because it's not about necessarily.
Is there any lawsuits pending against Alec Baldwin?
Right now, the woman who called 911 is in a lawsuit with him, which they didn't even speak about last night. And this is the reason why I believe he did this, because this woman who called 911 about this said that Alec was playing Russian roulette.
Right.
What does she have to gain by saying that?
Nothing.
Correct. So for Alec, he has been the person who's always been able to, I guess, control his narrative.
Yeah.
And now he's not. This is why he's constantly talking, is because they told him not to. Even before he jumped out of Vermont when he was on the side of the road. He cannot keep his mouth shut. He doesn't know how. And this is what he does. I'm going to win you over with my words. I'm going to win you over with my words. Just take the L. You know you were holding the gun. Unfortunately, no, you did not mean it. All three of you are responsible. Unfortunately, it was in your hand, which would make that manslaughter.
Right.
Because it was accidental. It was not intentional.
Yeah, I don't think he'll. If they do bring charges against him, I don't think he'll spend any significant time in jail.
Oh, he could.
I know, but I don't think he'll be in there long, because it was an accident.
I don't even know if he will serve time.
Exactly.
I don't think he will. What annoyed me, because he had said before that he would never act again. He was done. He was done. Last night, well, I'm in a movie in December that I'm doing. What happened to the fact that you were done? And now you're talking about your next movie? When you really? It was very self-serving. It was a very self-serving.
It doesn't surprise me.
Hey, domestic butler. That's an interesting name.
Oh, hi. That's probably someone you know already.
Do they have a wrench? Should we say?
No.
Oh, I don't know. Well, Mr. Shannon, I always listens all the time, and then
because he changes his name all the time.
He did it the last time. I'm like, he kept your name, but I could always tell by the way he writes. I'm like, it's you, Mr.
He's
Shannon.
funny.
Oh, he's so funny. Company name, domestic butler.
So, what are you doing today? What's going on with your osteoporosis? No, your osteoporosis.
This is why people haven't seen me. I'm going through a lot right now, more than I want to be going through.
Right.
I have if I eat or drink, I've had a couple of sips of my coffee. I can't do much more. The pain gets unbelievably stabbing and horrible. I've been calling the doctor since Wednesday. He hasn't called me back.
They haven't called you back yet?
I've called every day.
How do you deal with that? If they don't call you back, is there anybody else? There's a secondary person that you can get hold of to talk to. So in other words, they just leave you hanging.
And see, I probably would have gone to the hospital by now, but I know that they don't understand it. The emergency room.
You would think they would.
Do they give you usually food? It's awful. Ready? We have somebody here. Ready? Good morning.
Oh, that name looks familiar.
That picture of that dog is so cute.
He is.
Well, thank you. She's an old pup now.
So what's your take on the whole Alec
Did you
Baldwin?
see any of it at all?
I haven't caught up with the latest news, but what I know, which I've been around weapons and handled and known weapons my whole life, is that the weapon they used was an F. Lee Pieta Colt 45. Now, that was in a transition period when that was originally manufactured back in 1873, if memory serves me correct. I can't remember. When it first happened, I remember I brushed up on it because I also collect some antiques. Though, I'm still looking for that one specifically. But anyway, um, it's not that easy to check that specific type of weapon for what type of ammunition it has in it. However, that's why there's usually a chain of command and safety checks on these sets. And usually, when they hire the armorist usually is one or two people, and they're usually to check the weapon before every use. And in fact, I also heard, I think I was listening to a podcast, and they had said that they were out plinking that morning with that weapon. Which
Yes, they were
means
out doing target
cans and all.
practice.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it kind of tells me, like, first of all, that's a bit irresponsible because you have a weapon that otherwise should be under lock and key. And from my humble point of view, should be under lock and key so that there is no mistakes. There is no, because, and not to mention too, the more that you fire, especially if it's an actual older weapon, yeah, granted, it doesn't happen all that often, but it could wear down and all that good stuff. And in other words, you just don't want to push your luck with those weapons. So if you're using it specifically for on-site productions and everything else, I feel that those should be away from any live ammunition at all times. That way you'll know that, okay, well, there's no potential, there's no possibility. And it was very irresponsible of the armorist. I don't care how bored they were or whatever they were doing. I mean, you think about that. Why would they actually have to do practice shooting or target shooting
There
on a
should be
movie
no
set?
weapons on the set point, period.
Oh, exactly. And now,
Like
of course,
bullets is what I meant. Ammunition is what
yeah.
I meant.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people get the terms between prop gun and all that confused with standard guns. In their old terminology. And it's funny because amongst that, or during that news stream that I was listening to a couple of weeks ago or whatever, now, of course, the whole movie industry is talking about going to only non-functioning weapons and actual prop guns, because the old definition of a prop gun could mean just a standard gun that was filled with blanks. So
Mm-hmm.
now, of course, they're really trying to save their own tails, because you also have to remember, for every single production, they have to have insurance for each and every single movie. And I don't know all the tedious breakdowns about the policies and all that stuff, but I do know that they are mandated to have it in order to run the set. It's sort of like driving your vehicle. You got to have vehicle insurance. Well, the same thing when production or producing it, on a movie set. It's like any job-related thing as well. It's on a construction site.
You got to get licensings and things
Yep.
like that. And yeah.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. So the fact that somebody dropped the ball that much, especially with that type of weapon, it was irresponsible. I do know for a fact there's negligence there. Can they prove criminal negligence? That's possible, but unfortunately, with they'll get them shady, slimy lawyers and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And
Well, they can afford it.
Yep,
Yeah.
they'll find some legal definitions and some precedents somewheres, and to basically take the heat and the shade off of good old Alec. I mean, they very well may be able to go after a wrongful death suit against him. I'm sure that, hopefully the families of those people will be able to do something. Probably only for the woman that passed away. The guy, I'm sure, if he wants any future in the movie industry, he won't proceed with anything. Because, there's also the behind the scenes type of things. I'm sure Alec and his people have probably said, all right, if you want to remain around, you know what to do. So I don't see him pressing or charging anything. I haven't heard about any long-term damages. I heard he was released, and correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't the guy that was standing behind her released that night?
Yes.
Okay. Which, and some people actually, I heard some conspiracy theories out there and all that. And let me tell you, a 45, in the grand scheme of things, that is one of the largest handheld cannons, basically, you can have. I mean, sure.
Now, would you say if you were holding just the hammer part that he says, that he did not pull the trigger and the gun went off?
If that did in fact happen, it's very easy for any tech to find that out. And you could find that out easily, especially with those older weapons. The trigger, spring, and holding mechanisms, including and not limited to the firing pin and everything in between, are very easy to inspect. So what they will do is they would obviously have one of their CSIs get involved. They would break down the weapon, or in the forensics department, weapons department, they of course would, and I'm sure they already had to. They've had to do the bullet inspections. They had to fire and test and match it with the striations and all that stuff to prove that it was the actual bullet that came from that specific weapon and all that good stuff. But as far as him trying to even say, oh, it had a faulty trigger system, well, okay, he kind of called nonsense on that, because I'm sure that somebody, when they were planking that morning, would have seen it. And if it wasn't misfiring when they were planking in the morning, it's not all of a sudden going to misfire in the afternoon. Weapons, they don't work that way. Again, I mean, you can tell that there is something going on. And if something did break, okay, there is a very, 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 very small possibility that could have happened. But you're talking about, you're more likely to win the lottery 10 times in a row than you are for a weapon that was fired in the morning to all of a sudden, now just the trigger magically messed up and it wasn't my fault in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. No. It doesn't. Mm-mm. And let alone that whole argument is undone, because again, how and why was live ammunition in there? Where was your armrest?
Exactly.
Let alone where isn't it your responsibility, or at least I would like to believe there should be some fine print in the area of the insurance that covers the weapons and the firearms and all that good stuff. And there should be something about, that the safety checkpoints and all that. They should have some kind of fine print that states that, here's what each person's job is. Here's generically what the insurance covers and all the details and duties each employee and their specific job requirements are. So there should be, again, that's why sort of like when you get your auto insurance. Sort of like when, say, if you're an employer and you get your on-site insurance and all that, it usually is about as it's as thick as a Bible, because they lay it all out. So that way, if in the event something does happen, it's going to be covered or it's not going to be covered.
But see, here's the thing that bothered me last night, because why lie? Why sit here and lie say that she was your friend when you met her the night before? Because all right, just wait, listen, because he did the roadside interview, and then he did this. Now, this is why they said keep your mouth shut. So,
well,
he's on camera. Oh. She was my friend. Alec Baldwin.
She was my friend. She was my friend. And then in the interview, he's like, yeah, I met her the night before, and I heard she was great. So she wasn't your friend. I don't consider everybody I meet to be my friend, just saying. Right?
Oh, yeah, and the Baldwins have a history of that, but as do a lot of movie people, a lot of these celebrities, it's who knows exactly what the truth is. It's sometimes trying to follow them. You got to remember, they are paid liars, basically. I mean, not in many cases, obviously. They always got to pretend to be somebody else. So, I mean, who knows? Between him knowing he has to save his own ass right now.
Is he scrambling.
The very industry that puts the food on his table and puts that Lambo under his ass and every other fine good
Mhm.
life type of detail. Of course, he's going to scatter, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. However, it sounds like a Jussie Smollett to me. Some of these people just don't know when, like you said, they don't know when to shut the hell
Oh
up.
my God, Juicy, just take the L and move on. You're not going to serve time. You're not going to serve time for what happened, but you committed a felony. But he cannot admit to the fact that he used political shit, and he'll never admit it. He'll
Well,
never admit it.
and let's also call this for what this really is as well. Um, and a lot of people don't like to hear this, and I don't care what name people try to apply on me, but it is so true because I've talked to every single ethnic background, and they've all said the same thing.
He's
This
lying.
was also a lot of race baiting. That's exactly what it was.
It's exactly what it was, and he tried to pin it on people who were Trump supporters.
Ooh,
And
MAGA, MAGA, MAGA! Oh no! Yes.
but the funny thing is what somebody had said was, if can you kick me off your panel? Yeah, I can. I don't know why you want to be kicked off for sure. No. Okay. There you go. Oh, I'm stuck in no man's land. She's stuck up there, but she can't be heard. I think that's what it is.
I
Yeah,
was wondering why she was quiet. I was.
I know. Like Carla, what are you doing? She's like, I don't know. I'm stuck in no man's land. All right,
Sorry,
she
Carla.
you can come back.
I was going to say, I think maybe I wasn't even heard the first like 5 seconds I was up because I was saying hello, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't think anybody can hear me.
Oh, I go through that all the time. But no, even that's going on right now. And now, did you hear that they are trying to get a mistrial because the judge lynched at the lawyer?
It's ridiculous. I mean, it just
Really?
shows. We're in
Once again, using race baiting words.
we're in the twilight zone right now. I really do
Oh,
believe it.
no
But
kidding, man.
in many
And
ways, I feel that we got ourselves here because many people were asleep at the wheel. I mean, I firmly believe that since the mainstream has been allowed to rant and rave on like they have, and they've supported all of these lies, all of this deception and everything else, of which many people bought, that's why there is the divide that there is in this country today, or it's one of the
oh,
few reasons.
absolutely. And it is totally 1000% totally run by the media. And if you haven't realized that, when you have someone from MSNBC following the Kyle Rittenhouse jurors to their home and gets caught and actually calls the producer and it's on video and we know what her name is,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, does she still have a job there?
And that's why I love that judge. And a lot of people was funny. They were trying to say that he was just a hardcore rightist and all that. The judge
Oh,
is a
no, he was
Democrat.
not. He was fair.
Yeah, but I'm
And
saying
that's the thing. If you
he was a
it,
Democrat. Like, yeah, okay, so he was red and all this kind of stuff. But and you're trying to use politics, but the judge was actually he is seen as a Democrat. Like, I mean, are you kidding me? Doesn't make no sense. But this is what I'm talking about. This is the extent of which they are willing to go to further this narrative. Like there is such a big bad problem. We have
I
an idiot.
know. And
We have
I got people in my family who don't see it at all. And I'm just like, I'm like, I don't understand. And I will tell my mom or somebody, and it's like, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that our news. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, I mean, that's why all we can do is just do like say some of these other like a good I guess a good comparison is like what the clip channels do. You just basically use these people's own words against them, of which you're able to show others that otherwise may have been stuck in this old school mindset and who have believed people like the mainstream media and many of these politicians be like, well, here, look, they're speaking about about all this and that and the other now, but look what they said just last year or the year before. That's one of the best ways I've found to actually shepherd people to the truth, because that's what the media basically has stood for so long, being ruled by some of these tech tyrants. They don't want the truth out there.
Oh,
They
Nancy,
see it. They get rid of it.
Nancy, I don't think he's a dangerous person whatsoever. He's a coward. That's
Well,
what Jussie Smollett is. He's a coward.
I kind of agree with Nancy in a way, though. With all due respect, I
Oh,
believe
absolutely.
that people do something like that are in fact very dangerous, be it intentionally or even if it's just by happenstance. It doesn't
Well,
matter. Any man
it's
that would
once.
use those words, like he went through this whole pre-planning thing, and from what I
Oh,
understand,
I
there's
know.
now a
I know.
recording out there of them practicing this.
I
Like,
know.
it's
The dry
crazy.
run.
Yeah, yeah, and the noose around the neck. That's why we were calling him. What was it? Jesse. The noose is loose.
Juicy.
Smollett and Juicy. It all. Yeah, yeah. We've clowned on
No,
him
his
for a
name
long
is forever Juicy.
time.
Juicy Smollett.
Oh gosh, it's crazy. I can't. I couldn't believe it.
Barnyard. Oh my God, Barnyard. I hope. How are you? She just had surgery on her leg yesterday. Oh my
Ooh,
God.
I'm
She
sorry
broke
to
her
hear
leg in
that.
3 places.
Oh
So,
wow.
yeah, yeah.
Ouch. 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 I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we're a lot of us are going through some serious shit on here right now, man.
I
It's
know, right?
insane.
Well, I just know that God never puts too much on one's plate. So just when you think you've reached your wit's end, there's always hope. There's always a future.
I'm not there. I'm definitely not
Well,
there.
you know, there's a line of people that would help you in a heartbeat. You know that. You know that. I'm one of them, of course.
I know, and yesterday I'm sitting here doubled over in pain, and my husband looks at me. He's like, "What can I do?" I
Mm,
looked at him. I said, "You can't do anything. I can't do
I
anything. I
oh,
can't control this."
and that's
And
such
so
a
it makes him really upset,
mm,
and I hate that for him. I'm like, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing anybody can do. Like, for instance, I was in the hospital sick with COVID, and I had called Molly Golightly, who is my friend, and I called her, and she's like, "Oh, I'm live." I said, "Okay," and she asked me questions about the whole DC um, St. Jude scandal, and I gave my 2 cents with that. And what I said was, if it was true, because I didn't know if anything was true or not at that point. And they had wound up talking about me that night on their channel, like, "Oh my God," like, and she should have done something to help her. And I'm laughing, and I'm like, what the fuck could she have done to help me on the phone in a COVID unit? Nothing.
right, right, yeah.
Absolutely nothing. No one can do anything. All right, I am leaning on my faith big time. Oh, are you? Let
Mm.
me see what show. You fell? No. Barnyard. Jesus Christ.
Damn. Well,
Oh my God.
first and foremost, you definitely, obviously, we would want to inquire about a rock solid cast of some kind, or at least, a support. If you're falling back like that, I would think.
Wait, are you in the hospital or are you home? I can't imagine she would be home.
I would hope not either. Well, no, she said is waiting on a call back from the
Waiting
doctor.
on the call back from the doctor. Or, I mean, that, yeah, yeah. If she was in the hospital, she would, Jesus, they sent you home? And oh my God, that they wouldn't keep you overnight, at least just to make sure you were okay. I don't get
Well,
it.
it depends too, because many of these hospitals, one of the other stats that the mainstream doesn't like putting it out. They just like saying that everybody's overwhelmed and all that. One of the reasons why they are is because they've had to lay off a bunch of people. So between that and now those not willing to get the jab, as it were, yeah, it's
I
unfortunate, but our
know, I
hospitals are
know when
way
I was in
understaffed.
Temple, and I was in COVID unit, I had a young nurse who was working with me there, and she's like, "I'm not getting the vaccine."
Mm.
And I looked at her and I was kind of shocked because I thought, healthcare worker, like she would be getting it. She said to me that she wanted to have children and she does not trust the vaccine that she would be able to have children.
Well,
Um,
now let me
Whether
say,
she still works there or she doesn't have a job.
I was just going to forewarn you. I have been on now 3 panels, and we've been discussing this type of thing. If you're going to talk about this kind of thing, be very clever with your words, because all 3 streams have been taken down by the tech tyrants. So Jab, Covey, the Coof. sweet and sour sniffles, whatever you want to call it. You be very
Sweet and
mindful of
sour
your words.
sniffles.
Yeah, well, actually, Jericho Green, I blame that one on. He's one of the black conservative patriots I
That's
follow.
my
He
favorite
cracks me.
one now.
Yeah. When he said that, he don't get it twisted. He identifies just like I do that it is in fact a real novel V, but the fact is just even if we've lost people, you can't let it control your life. You still have
Yeah.
to keep some kind of optimism and hope. But the fact is, here on this platform, you got to be very careful because, believe it or not, on the last one, we barely said but maybe 3 sentences using those words because I went back over it in my head and I remembered word for word what was said. And I'm like, they removed you from medical misinformation for that? But it's another example of them.
No, this was
They
just
trying to push crap.
when I spoke with this nurse, this was her choice.
Right,
That's
right.
all I'm saying. This was her decision. This wasn't medical misinformation.
Oh no, I know.
This,
I'm just saying that they would deem it as such,
oh,
and
I
you know
know.
how hard it is
I'm not
to
afraid
fight
of
that
them.
stuff. All right. Well, I'm just saying. I was just
I'm
giving
not
you a little heads
monetized
up.
for a reason.
Oh, okay. All right, I got you.
Yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I understand that, and
Once you
you
get
know,
monetized, it becomes too crazy. So I'm like, I'd rather just have this because I honestly did this for the set, like my own sanity. I didn't do this to
mm,
merely make money. I did this just to have fun, and
mm,
because I am sick and my friends do all work, this is
right.
this is my escape for a little bit, and I
Well,
definitely enjoy it. Like it, I enjoy it, but then when things get crazy and stupid, I don't enjoy it at all.
yeah, I'm of similar mindset. I like to fill the voids of time because my brain is always firing on all pistons, so I'm always getting into something. But I used to stop by my mom's almost every single morning, make some breakfast and all that good stuff. And ever since she passed, it's been the past few years. I've enjoyed getting on a little bit of social media here and there, a few
Yeah.
minutes at a time. But I get back to that nurse's situation. I understand that because when you have your typical jab that usually would take anywhere between 4 to 8 years to go through all the approval process and everything else, it can be very concerning when you have hardly any, how should I say, testing of said jab to see any negative side effects or long term side effects. So when you have people, especially those in the know that are wrapped up in the health profession, uh, see, I'm being good today. I'm watching my words. In the health profession, I can understand why they would even be more suspect and cautious of going to get the jab. It's
Yeah.
something they just believe in. But like I've told people before, if you are somebody that is on the fence about it, and you're in a situation, because I know people even close to me that have ended up, going to get it even after they said originally they weren't, but because of their life situations and all that, being around elderly parents and people like that, they chose to get it.
And
But
so
it's
did
something.
I for that reason.
Yeah.
If I want to see my family, because I do have a nephew who has an autoimmune issue, which he's kind of like honestly, he's like the boy in the bubble. He has like
Okay.
whatever
Okay.
comes into the house, he's going to get. Mind you,
That's.
I've had COVID twice now, um, but I have to get my second shot, which is in I think a week,
Mm,
and then I'm vaccinated, which I didn't really want to get vaccinated, but having it twice kind of freaking sucked. So, for my own health, I got to worry. Because I got to be honest, like when I look at the future and I think of myself as an old woman, I don't see myself really enjoying life if this is
mm,
how I am at 46. I mean, doesn't mean that there isn't things that can come along but I don't know that yet. So
true.
as right now, to me, the future down the road doesn't look too bright for me. But I'm praying that it will change, and I'm praying that something will work, that I can eat again and not have stabbing pain when it happens. That's all. It's just I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
Well, the good news is, if there was some, is that there are many people that are doing nonstop research in all areas of health and research. So that's, at least something to keep your head up for. It was just like I never would have known 25 years ago that they would have ever came up with prescription medications that would help people with addictions. But here, what was it, in 2003, the FDA approved the whole Suboxone treatment trials and stuff. So that was,
Yeah, that was actually a really good thing.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
And
Cause I know
for
somebody.
me, for
I'm sorry.
me, I was at the I was at the dispensary. I came out. The cop walks out with me. He holds the door for me as I'm holding marijuana in my hand. And I looked at him and I said, if you would have told me this 20 years ago, I would have never believed you. And he started laughing. He's
Mhm.
like, times are changing. Times are changing. I'm like, yes, they are. And
Yes, they are.
trust me, medical marijuana has been unbelievably amazing for me. For me.
Well,
And it
that's
got
good.
me off of all narcotics. They used to have me on methadone, fentanyl patches, Dilaudid, you name it.
Wow.
I was on it. I was a mess when I was a little younger. But I got off all that stuff and I'm completely coherent. But the problem is that because this is my history, my background, and you go into a hospital, they automatically think that you're there for drugs. The only hospital I
Mm,
can go to that won't think that is Temple because they
mm,
know. And man, that is not a drive that I like taking very often,
mm,
going through Kensington.
mm. Well, I tell you, this is why to have, I would say, decent people, but to have a good support group by your side, and trust and believe. If I say it was in your world, and I heard them docs are giving you a hard time about that, there's a few lines that, well, hell, I have them more or less memorized by now. But yeah, I understand docs trying to deem patients or certain patients as seekers, as they like to refer to them as.
Yes, I
But
know.
when you have somebody's jacket or somebody's patient file that's as thick as a Bible, and it's got every last detail of all their symptoms, illnesses, and diseases in there, there's no reason why one should do something like that based upon the amount of medical evidence they have to prove that the person is in fact in said pain. And of course, there's a wide variety of tests they can also utilize to come to that conclusion as well. But unfortunately, many of these docs and some nurses nowadays are skittish at the idea of somebody coming in saying they're in pain, because
I'm in
and
pain.
they do have some fakers that do it a bunch as well, but usually they'll know those types of people from a mile away. Those are the ones that walk in complaining about a toothache one second, the next thing they're coughing all over the place, and but while their eyes are pinned, it is smaller than needle tips. Yeah, they can usually tell those types of people from a mile away. But somebody such as yourself, that's why my heart went out for you that last time around you were in the hospital and all, because that was some crap. They were giving you a bunch of issues. It just
They
doesn't
always
make
do.
sense to me.
They always do. Though there's one here, and I won't even go back to them anymore. I'm done because they know that I'm sick, and they know what I go through, and they know that I'm in constant pain. So that's great. I'm not an
Mm,
acute case, but right now, guess what? I am an acute case, and I still can't get the doctor to fucking call me.
mm.
Still, three
Eh,
days I'm bent over in pain.
That
And
is absolutely insane.
I have like plans for tomorrow, and I'm thinking, oh my God, how am I going to do these plans? I want to do them, but I don't know if I'm going to be able.
Mm. It,
I don't know.
that just goes to show how vulnerable we can be at times, and how some of these people put us in such positions and situations. And granted, it is our personal battle that we are going through. But some of these docs, especially when they know you or at least know of you, and they have the ability to quickly look up what you're going through. I mean, it's not like back in the day where they had to go through all the paper files and all that. Everything is literally at the tip of their fingers via, their own
And
special laptop or tablet or phone or whatever they use to access the patient files. It kills me. It
my
kills me.
husband was ready to take me to the hospital last night. And I said to him, no. And he's like, well, what do you mean, no? I said, think about this. I'm going to go to the hospital locally here. They do not know how to handle gastroparesis. Yes, they know I have it. And what they know is that sometimes, like, I have stabbing pain that comes with it, and that is a part of it. And then they'll
Mm,
go, oh, but pain medication makes it worse. But no, the pain medication will at least stop the stabbing pain. So if I can eat something, it's not fucking stabbing me like this.
mhm,
And
mhm.
so
And if they're so worried about it, they could always bring you in and put you on a saline drip for a little while if they're worried about dehydration or anything like that. And there's all kinds of ways to combat, these supposed negative side effects that they try to use to justify not prescribing. And see, that's what I mean.
I
As
don't.
long as you're aware of some of these techniques and these obvious medical procedures, minor medical procedures and techniques they can use to offset said ill side effects, then there should be no excuses. If somebody's in gut-wrenching pain, they should at least honor their oath to at least protect and try to help their patients at all costs.
Yeah, I'm in gut-wrenching pain. Now, I'm
Yeah,
sitting here, I'm
so-
talking to you. How do they diagnose gastroparesis? It's what they call a gastric dumping test. So what they do is they actually try to get you to eat like this egg sandwich. I couldn't eat, and I still couldn't eat, and I would not still be able to eat that egg sandwich. Like, I don't understand that. I'm like, if you got someone who's got gastroparesis, they cannot eat this shit. So finally, they gave it to me in one of those boost kind of things.
Mhm.
So and I could see it like on the computer that it was not moving. And each time, because it's a 4-hour test, you keep going in. They take pictures of it dumping, and they're like, "Ooh, it's bad." Yeah, no kidding. I've been telling you this forever.
Yep. And once those tests are done, those are forever in your patient charts. So again, there's no reason for them to not be able to gain access to that, especially if a
Exactly.
doctor's
That's
assigned your
that's
case.
why like I don't want to go to a hospital around here. If he thinks I need to go to the hospital or he can do something for me at home, then great. But you need to call me back. This has been
hmm
since Wednesday.
The only
No.
thing it can do is just keep on calling. Just keep on
Yeah,
calling. That's obviously the only option you really do have.
I know. I know. I know. You know what? But I'm going to sign off because I think I'm going to call them again because I'm literally sitting here at the moment with pain. Bye, True Helper. Thanks for coming up. I appreciate you, Carla. I don't know how the hell you got freaking blocked on my channel. I don't know how your wrench was removed. I have no idea. It's okay. It's all right. I'm going to sign off anyway. I'm going to call the MFer right now because I'm getting sick and tired of waiting because this is insane. Um, I'm just hoping he could give me something so I don't need to go down to Temple because I don't really want to go down to Temple. Mm-mm. All right. Yeah, since Wednesday, Nancy, it is fucking crazy. So, yeah. And, if he just says, oh, go to your emergency room. No, that doesn't work like that. And he knows that. He freaking knows that. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for adding your 2 cents about the whole Alec Baldwin, Jussie Smollett. I can't call him Jussie Smollett. That Jussie, Juicy. I go with what Dave Chappelle says. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm hoping maybe I can get something sent to the pharmacy and I can enjoy my weekend as well. Bye.